Yellowstone Supervolcano secrets of a mystery sandwich beneath the volcano has been revealed in a new map. And this is a very recent map. Researchers mapped the national park's hydrothermal plumbing system using a giant flying magnet. The subterranean plumbing system of superheated water that feeds Yellowstone National Park's geysers and other hydrothermal features has been mapped out in stunning detail, and the findings could fill a major knowledge gap that experts have described as a mystery sandwich, quote unquote. And looking at the map, to me it's frightening because the magma is on top of the water. Yellowstone is home to the world's largest hydrothermal system. As we know, Yellowstone is one of the 22 some odd supervolcanoes of the Earth. It houses over 60% of the world's geysers and over 10,000 hydrothermal features. So it's the world's largest hydrothermal system containing around 10,000 hydrothermal features, including geysers, hot springs, mud pots, and steam vents, according to the National Park Service. These above-ground features are fed by a network of underground water pathways that get superheated by underground magma, causing the water to rise to the surface. However, researchers know very little about this underground network or plumbing system. The head of Department of Geoscience, Virginia Tech University, Steve Holbrook, said, "Our knowledge of Yellowstone has long had a subsurface gap." He's the co-author of the study. He said it's like a mystery sandwich, quote unquote. We know a lot about the surface features from direct observation and a fair amount about the magmatic and tectonic system several kilometers down from the geophysical work, but we don't really know what's in the middle. In the new study, researchers attached a giant electromagnetic electromagnet known as SkyTEM, SkyTEM, to a helicopter and then flew back and forth hundreds of times above Yellowstone to scan the ground below. The magnet consists of an 82 feet wide or 25-meter charged wire loop, which generates a strong electromagnetic field. Because different types of material, such as rock or water, respond differently to the magnetic field, the researchers were able to create subsurface maps of large sections of the underground hydrothermal network for the first time. Mapping hydrothermal pathways, the survey method used by the team, called transient electromagnetics, TEM, involves inducing an electric current through the ground by turning the electromagnet in the air on and off. An electromagnet produces an electromagnetic field when an electrical current is run through a coiled wire loop like the SkyTEM magnet, and when the electrical current stops running through the wire, the electrical charge jumps from the electromagnetic field to the ground below. The electric charge dissipates through the ground, which causes fluctuations in the electromagnetic field that can be measured by the researchers above. The subsurface water pathways show up clearly in the resulting maps because water is a much better conductor of electricity than rock is. Lead author Carol Finn, researcher with the U.S. Geological Survey, said, "So an electric current induced in water dissipates more quickly than current in rock." The mapping technique could also differentiate between magma and bedrock because they have slightly different magnetic properties, Finn said. This allowed the team to see how the magma and water interact to create impressive geological features on the surface. And when looking at the map, we see that the example of one of the maps created by the SkyTEM magnet. The blue and green areas are underground fluid pathways located below surface hydrothermal features. The yellow and orange is rock, and the dark red is magma. So this method allows the researchers to create high-resolution maps to a depth of about 492 feet and 2,296 feet. That's 150 to 700 meters below, and low-resolution maps to a maximum of 1.5 miles or 2.5 kilometers, Finn said. However, the researchers think the hydrothermal system may extend as far as 3.1 miles below the surface, which means that they have mapped only the top half of Yellowstone's plumbing system. As we know, the magma, if you're in the caldera area, the magma is only 3 miles down from where you're standing. Now, in total, the team covered around 2,500 miles during their research flights. However, the technique was sensitive enough to pick up only the largest fluid pathways. Finn said it's like imaging a city's water supply and distribution lines, but not the individual lines feeding a given house or of the difference in pipes between your kitchen and your bathroom. The missing links. Scientists already know a lot about the surface of hydrothermal features in Yellowstone, thanks to decades of detailed observations and chemical samples. Researchers also have a good idea of the tectonic plates and fault lines deeper below ground because the park's frequent earthquakes provide lots of opportunities to study this. For instance, in July 2021, a swarm of over 1,000 earthquakes rocked Yellowstone. However, researchers have been missing the precise links between the deep water heated by magma and the varied surface features, Finn said. With the new maps, researchers can now see how the water pathways interact with magma to provide the superheated water that creates the geysers and hot springs above. As a result, the team now has a better idea of the inner workings of certain famous features, including the Old Faithful geyser and the Grand Prismatic Spring, Finn said, and the map also shows that individual surface features can be connected to other features separated by as much as 6 miles or 9.7 kilometers, according to the statement. However, the maps also showed that geysers and hot springs, which can vary greatly in size, shape, and color, chemical composition, and volatility, were fed by remarkably similar subterranean pathways. Finn said, "Our work shows that most thermal features are located above buried faults that channel hot water and that flow paths are similar across Yellowstone, irrespective of the chemistry of the local springs." This finding suggests that chemical mixing or geological differences closer to the surface are responsible for the diverse range of surface features seen in the park. The researchers said the huge trove of mapping data they collected could reveal much more about the park. And Finn says, "The data set is so big that we've only scratched the surface of this first paper. I look forward to continuing to work on this data and see what others come up with too. It's going to be a data set that keeps giving." And many scientific disciplines should benefit. For example, microbiologists can investigate whether subsurface features influence the biodiversity of microbial life forms living in geysers and hot springs. Geologists will be able to map magma distribution to better understand past volcanic eruptions, and hydrologists will be able to learn about the differences between how hot and cold water flows underground. Researchers can also study how clay sediments block hydrothermal pathways that might lead to pressure buildups and explosions, which are a safety concern in the park, Finn explains. In the future, deeper sensing electromagnetic data could help reveal the rest of the hydrothermal work and provide researchers with a complete view of the system, Finn said. And this was published on Nature magazine March 23rd, published on Live Science by Harry Baker. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.